Hello everyone and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we're taking a look at the first wave of Sodo Chronicle, which is Kamen Rider Double. This is 6 individual packs. 3 of them are actually Joker, but they're actually quite different. So the first 2 are Cyclone Joker, obviously. Then you have Fang Joker, and then you have Joker Joker for the all Joker form. So the cool thing about this is while 3 of the packs are Joker, they're very different in terms of this one has the silver stripe so that it matches with Cyclone. This one doesn't have the silver stripe so that it looks like one continuous Joker body. And then this has the kind of different head crest and eyes so that it matches with the more kind of wild Fang aesthetic. So I think that's really neat. It's kind of funny because you might be thinking to yourself, well, I only need one Joker body and I can mix and match. And technically, I guess you could, but they will all look slightly different. So this way actually gives you all 3. You can keep them made, and you don't have to worry about switching around or having half a body laying around, which is nice. If you get the other set, there's another set coming out, Premium Bandai, that's going to have Heat Metal, Luna Trigger, and Extreme. You should be able to mix and match these bodies with those. So if you wanted to do, say, for example, Cyclone Trigger or Cyclone Metal, you should be able to mix those around, and I'll be able to know for sure once those come in. But yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and just show you the boxes real quick for these. The sides of the boxes are not really that exciting, to be honest. And then the back just kind of shows you, of course, putting the 2 pieces together. And they do connect together. So that's why I was saying you should be able to mix and match some of these with the other set that's coming out. The other set is a Premium Bandai set. But yeah, I think it's neat that Sodo's going back and doing some of these older riders. Because really, Sodo only started with... Was Ex-Aid the first rider that did Sodo? I don't think Ghost had it. So Sodo's kind of the standard now. And I think it's pretty cool that they're going back, and I'm really excited for these. So I'm going to go ahead, get these put together, and then we will take a closer look. Here are the 3 figures fully assembled and out of the package, and I have to say, these have really impressed me. I really love what they've done. First thing that really impressed me, or I should say just really excited me about these figures, very minimal stickering. The paint on the shoulders is included, so you don't have, that's not a sticker, you don't have to worry about that. Eyes fully painted, don't have to worry about that. All you have to sticker is the thing here on each pec, the cuff around the wrist, and the cuff around the ankle, and then of course the driver. Oh, I'm sorry, the belt as well. The silver pieces going around for the belt. It's very minimal, and it really, they're easy to apply, they adhere well. Really didn't have any difficulty, and you can put one of these figures together very quickly, very easily, and they look fantastic. Cyclone Joker looks amazing. Head can swivel from side to side, and there's kind of a ball joint in there, and I'll show you how that works in a minute. But you get a good range of motion there in the head. Typical shoulder joint with a hinge and a swivel. You can even lift up the shoulder pad so it doesn't get in the way. Bicep swivel, you have the typical, you can actually do 180 degrees. You can actually have his elbow bend completely backwards. And then the wrist swivels, because this is just a wrist that you can pop out the whole hand, and he does come with different hands that you can choose from. The waist swivels from side to side. Typical ball joint in the hip. And then you have a thigh swivel right there, and then you have 90 degrees in the knee, and then a ball joint in the ankle. So the articulation is absolutely fantastic. Cyclone Joker does come with the scarf piece, which you can unpeg if you see fit. You don't have to include it on there if you don't want to. You can also move it around if you want to do like a having it blowing in the wind kind of pose. You can certainly do that. It's just a simple peg, so you can move that around. I kind of just like to put it at like a 45-degree angle, something like that. The driver sticker, I think, looks really good. It's a little difficult to get on there just because it's a flat sticker on a very 3-dimensional piece, I'll say, for lack of a better term. It's got a lot of you know, different nooks and crannies to try to get this sticker to adhere to, but it does a pretty good job. And I think what you're left with looks pretty good. You can see the Cyclone and Joker Gaia memories in there, so I appreciate that. It does come with a stand, so if you want to go ahead and peg that into the spot on the butt, you can go ahead and do that. I'm just, again, really impressed with these figures. We'll take a look at Joker and Fang Joker in a second, but I kind of want to break it down for you first, how the figures work with the two halves. I'm going to go ahead and remove him from the stand for a moment. So they kind of remind me of how the two halves of the Build Sodo figures work, because they're not just complete two halves split down the middle. So the first thing you want to do is take off the driver, because the driver has two pegs, and that pegs into each half, so it's a nice way to bind it and keep it together. But basically how this works is the torso piece unplugs on its own, and then the leg piece unpegs on its own. So you can see here that there's kind of this tab, which plugs into the waist there. And then up top, you just have very simple two pegs and two peg holes. And that's how that works and is able to keep all the articulation and everything. With the head, you can actually take this piece out. And you can see here that it is a neck on a ball joint. And then that's what slips in and becomes the neck. But the two halves actually don't really move all that much because they just peg into the two sides of this column. But they actually give you extra pieces, so let me show you how this works. Now, they don't all do this, only the Cyclone Joker does, but they give you two separate halves, so if you want to take the head apart, you just kind of have to get your fingernail in there or something, and you can take this off, and then you can attach the individual piece. If I can pick it up, there we go. Peg that in, and then you can peg that in on its own. So if you wanted to show the side by itself, they even give you, and let me find it here, separate antenna pieces that you can peg in. I swear this, oh, you know what, that's the Fang Joker piece, that's why that's probably not working. Sorry, I kind of have everything over here. There's a large pile of extra pieces, so I have to go through and find the correct one. So let's get this in here. And the funny thing is that every piece, so each side is its own candy toy box, but every side has the pieces for the right, the left, and then the two together. I don't know why they felt the need to give us that many. As you can see, here's a solid piece that you're going to take out, and then you would put in the separate one by itself, which that is not the right one. That is not the right one. I swear they're in here. I should have done this ahead of time. Oh well. Here is a separate one for this side. And then you can peg this in here. And then you can put this in here. So if you wanted to display, you know, just the Cyclone half by itself, you could certainly do that. They even give you the two halves of the driver. So you would pop in, this is upside down, but just the Cyclone half. And then you would, I'll show you how this all goes together here. They actually include a piece, which I had to find as well, this little joint connector piece, because since the, I guess, left side is always in two pieces, they give you this so that you can peg this into the waist. And then you can go ahead and peg that into the peg hole there, so that way that keeps those two pieces together. And then you would put the Joker half of the driver. So there you go. You can have the two complete separate halves. And they do this because what they actually show you in the directions, which is actually kind of neat. You take this and you peg it into this top piece up here. And then you can take this and peg it into the top hole up here. And then it kind of looks like when he would kind of separate in half to do his rider kick. Now, I admit it looks a little goofy, and this is going to completely fall apart on me now. Make sure this is all pegged in. And it's kind of a lot of setup and part swapping to do to achieve this. And in my opinion, it doesn't quite work because it's like a little off kilter and it certainly is very difficult to keep balanced. But if you wanted a way to simulate the kind of splitting in half rider kick thing that he does on the show, it is attainable here. So I think that's pretty cool. Now, like I said, not every set does this. So Fang Joker and Joker Joker does not come with these extra pieces. It comes with one driver. It comes with the only one neck piece. So you would have to kind of do some part swapping from some other sets if you wanted to achieve that with those. But like I said, every half does give you the separate antenna pieces. So if you want a giant pile of antenna pieces, get ready to buy these sets. Because I really do have, I'll show you in a moment. I have to get everything put back together here. But I really just have like a giant pile of antennas from every single one of these boxes. It's crazy because literally every box has a right side, a left side, and a combined side. Now, I'll point them out as we go. They're all slightly different, but that's still a ton of antenna pieces. You're also going to have a ton of extra fists because everyone comes with a ton of extra fist pieces here. So you have some options, but that's nice. I mean, I like when they give you extra fists. He doesn't really come with any weapons per se, so there's not really any reason to have a fist that you like would hold a weapon with, but they still include it, which is nice. So I appreciate that. Let's go ahead and get this put back together here. So as you can see, I just put the double antenna piece back in, and then I connected these to the neck joint that's connected together. And then I'm going to have to take off the separate drivers. And I'm going to have to disconnect this piece. And then you just slide that back together. Oh, first of all, you have to put the neck in. Otherwise, you're going to have a headless rider. So pop that in, peg that back together, and then pop the driver on the front to solidify the form. And then there you go. You're back to normal. Next up, we'll take a look at Fang Joker. Love this form. I think they did a great job. And as I was saying earlier, yes, you might think to yourself you only need one version of Joker. But if you'll notice, the Fang Joker version of Joker has the kind of pointed up shoulder pad, has a little bit different detailing in the hips and the arms with that kind of spikier nature, as opposed to all the rounded edges and everything. So it really is a different version of Joker, which is going to make you want to get both versions. But these pieces here you can take out. So that just pegs in there like for when he calls the different fangs. You can take this one out of the wrist. And for the leg, it's actually a completely separate piece. So how this works, you actually unpeg the entire shin. And sometimes it's a little scary because I feel like I'm going to snap something. But with a little bit of practice, it's not too bad to navigate. As I literally snap the peg while I'm watching. You guys are watching this. No, you just kind of have to wiggle it and it will come out. There you go. So that whole thing unpegs, and then they give you a normal shin piece that you just go ahead and peg on. And then there you go. That is the fangless shin. Now I know it seems weird, like why couldn't they just have a peg into the side like the others do? I don't know, to be honest. I'm not quite sure, but I think it's neat. It also comes with a fang piece if you want him to hold one, I guess to throw at people or something. It's been a while since I've seen Double. I don't remember if he does that, but he probably does. I remember him popping them out on his shoulder and his wrist and his foot, because then he would kind of kick with them or attack with them. But as you can see, the head crest, the antenna is a little different. The eyes are also a little different. But he's got all the same articulation. Overall, the form just looks absolutely fantastic. And again, he does come with a stand. And the cool thing is there is a little peg, so if you'd rather just like stand him on the stand, you can certainly do that. The peg is in the front of the toe. So if you just wanted to, like, you could take this piece off the stand and just kind of peg them on the stand, which I think is kind of a neat idea. Because sometimes just floating in the air, they look a little weird, but if you just wanted him to kind of stand like this, just so it had the name, and then you could just put it on a shelf like that, also an option. So I think that's cool. For now, just to keep track of everything, I'm probably going to put this back on here. I mean, this is nice if you want to do like a pose that requires him to be floating, like a kicking pose or something like that. So I'm not great at posing figures, but if you wanted to kind of have him kicking or something, obviously I'm terrible, but you can do much, much better job. So you do have that option, which I think is really cool. Last but certainly not least is the full Joker. So as you can see, his driver is just one-sided with just the Joker memory. Now I would say these, this left side is the closest to the Cyclone Joker, but it doesn't have the silver piece in the middle because it's one solid form because of one Gaia memory. So again, it is a slightly different version, so all three versions of the left side of Joker in this set are different. But again, you have the cuffs on the ankles and the wrist. You have the two purple stickers on the chest, the driver, and the belt. Everything else is already done for you. Unfortunately, the antenna on mine was a little bent, but I think it's getting better. But yeah, this one's probably the most simplistic, but I still think it looks great. Always a fan of the full Joker form, so same articulation as everybody else. He doesn't really have any special features or anything like the way Fang does, but he still looks great. And like I said, they all come with extra fists. So you have closed up fists, you have like pointing fists so they can do the count up your sins pose, which is always important. You have some open-handed fists. It seems most of them that I don't show here are closed fists. I opted for the kind of open. And then he's got the, see if I can recreate the count up your sins. So that's pretty cool. I'm blown away by these, I have to say. Like, I've always been a fan of Sodo figures, and the only thing that holds me back from them is how long it takes them to put together and the amount of stickers that usually accompany them. And the build line that, you know, kind of just ended. I haven't really gotten to the Geo line yet. I'm very far behind. But Build always had a ton of stickers. These are very simplistic with the stickers, but they still look great. And I'm assuming it's just because the suits were a little bit less intricate back then. But I still think they look great. I'm not complaining at all. I love when they don't have a ton of stickers because it's very easy to apply. Still looks great. And I'm just really super pleased with these. So if you guys have an opportunity to pick these up, I definitely recommend them, especially if you're a Big Double fan like me. There is a second premium Bandai set that's going to have Luna Trigger, Heat Metal, and Extreme. That should be coming. Either it just came out last month or it comes out this month. I think it came out in April. So I should have that hopefully soon. And I will definitely be taking a look at that because I'm very blown away by these. And I'm sure that that set's going to be just as excellent. And plus it'll give us some swapping capabilities. Should be able to swap Cyclone Joker with Luna Trigger and Metal Heat, so they're Heat Metal. So that should be great. Very excited. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and as always, thank you so much for watching.